What is a higher level review, and should you request one in your VA disability claim? Well, first of all, let me say that higher level reviews are only available if you have a new claim under the Appeals Modernization Act. This is not on the table with a legacy claim. Now, to describe what it is in my wildly oversimplified language, which is always a little dangerous, more than a little dangerous, I'd say that a higher level review is you going to the VA and saying, hey, look, all the evidence is there. The answer is obvious. You guys just got it wrong. And I'd like somebody with a little more experience to take a look at this claim again. Try again. So to be more specific, a higher level review is when a more experienced VA employee reviews all the evidence in your claim and then gives you another decision. Now, they're supposed to look at this with totally clean eyes. They're not supposed to give that original rater any sort of deference to their findings or conclusions, with the exception of findings that have been made in your favor. I have a whole nother video on that, so I won't go down that road right now. But what specifically can a higher level reviewer do? What decisions can they make? Well, a few things. First, they can come back and say, VA got it right the first time. So we completely agree with that original rater, and that's it. And I see that a lot. A little too much, honestly. The other thing they can do, or another thing they can do, is they can grant your claim or increase your rating. And that's usually what you want them to do. A third thing they can do, they can actually deny a claim that's already been given to you, or they can reduce your rating. Now, those are hard for them to do, and then to deny a claim that's already been granted, there has to be clear and unmistakable error. And to reduce a rating, it's very difficult, and I don't want to scare you. I also don't want to go off on a very long tangent on those things here right now. But those, I would just put them in the very unlikely category. You've got some special circumstances if this thing is happening to you. The other thing that a higher level reviewer can do is they can send your claim back to the original regional office that handled it and say, you guys failed in your duty to assist the veteran, so you've got to try. You got to do more to develop the claim. And for you, that can be kind of frustrating, unless, of course, they didn't develop your claim properly, and that's what they should do. Downside is the result is they kick the claim down the road and drag things out. Of course, what you want them to do is just grant the thing and be done with it. So in making those decisions, what information is available? Well, the higher level reviewer is stuck with only the information that was available when that original decision or the decision being reviewed was made. So if you've gone to the doctor since then, or if you've gotten new statements since then, and you try to add them in, they're not going to look at them. They can only look at the information that was available. It is a higher level review. Now, they can consider arguments, specifically arguments that you make, and you should make arguments. So arguments different than new evidence. Arguments is just you pointing out how the VA messed up. Now, when I do these, when I submit these for a veteran, and I submit the form along with the form for a higher level review, I include a letter, and that letter describes in great detail the errors in the original decision. And if you're doing this claim yourself, you should do the same thing. Absolutely submit it in writing and submit it at the same time you request a higher level review. Now, make sure you're not trying to add something new in there, and make sure you clearly state this is argument, not new evidence, and then just walk through the errors. Now, maybe to help break this down between evidence and errors, an example might help. So let's say you're trying to get service connected for a disability that occurred when you were in Afghanistan. You get an original decision back from the VA that says that denies service connection, saying you were never in Afghanistan. Now, come to find out, your service treatment records, the medical records from Afghanistan, never made it into your VA claims file. So that original decision maker didn't have them. but you happen to have a copy of them now, and you try to add them. Well, if you're in a higher level review situation, if you ask for a higher level reviewer is not going to look at it because that's new evidence that was not in your claim. It's absolutely relevant, but it's not. But it's new. It wasn't there before. So for that, you've got to file a supplemental claim. That's how you fix that. The other way to handle a situation like that is you point out that if you identified these records as existing and asked the VA to find them and they didn't find them, the higher level reviewer should say, send it back down and make the VA go get those records and look through your claim again and re-adjudicate your claim. Okay, so let's take the other example. Let's say those treatment records were actually in your file the whole time and the original rater just missed them. This is a higher level review situation because you would point out in that letter describing the errors, you could say, hey, look, in the decision it listed all the evidence considered. In that evidence is service treatment records. Here, as you can see, in my service treatment records is treatment in Afghanistan. There you go. I was clearly in Afghanistan. This was an error. You should correct their decision, grant me service connection, and rate me accordingly. So that's an argument. Hope that makes sense. One other thing about higher level reviews, you can't get a hearing, but you can ask for an informal conference. Whether you should or shouldn't, I think that generally they're a good idea. Might slow your claim down a little bit to request one, but generally they're a good idea. And there's a continuum here. So the more complex your claim is, I think the more important it is to get an informal conference. And complex claims, not the best way to describe it. The errors that the VA made, if those are complex errors where you really have to break it down for somebody, then you want the chance to talk to another human about those errors and maybe have a good discussion, a give and take about it. If those errors are stupid obvious, then maybe it's less important. But I'll say that what's stupid obvious to me is not always stupid obvious to anyone else. So I'll leave that there. Should you request a higher level review? I don't think there's ever, in context like this, it's hard to say. Bottom line is every claim is different. Your claim is unique, and you have to look at the entirety of your claim, your whole situation. First thing I would say is your evidence weak, right? Do you need more evidence? Do you need another doctor for medical opinion? Do you need more statements from people you served with, from your spouse, from whoever can help support the facts that you're trying to lay out for the VA? If you need more evidence, don't do a higher level review. It's going to be just a waste of your time. Get the evidence and file a supplemental claim. On the flip side, if all the evidence is there, you got all the medical opinions you could want, same with buddy statements, etc. Maybe higher level review makes sense. It really does completely depend on your claim alone. So no two claims are alike. If you'd like me to take a look at your claim, you can reach out to me through my website in the description below. Otherwise, I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.